Welcome to Monster Trail Cams, your gateway to the hidden world. Our channel is dedicated to unveiling the mesmerizing, the peculiar, and the truly unexplained phenomena captured by trail cameras around the globe. From cryptids lurking in the dense woods, elusive wildlife in their most candid moments, to inexplicable anomalies that challenge our understanding of reality, we present a collection of footage that promises to intrigue, astonish, and occasionally send a chill down your spine. Here, every pixel tells a story that unfolds in the untouched wilderness, under the cover of darkness, or in the light of day when no human eye is watching. It's a narrative of life in its rawest form, punctuated by moments of mystery, wonder, and at times terror. The trail begins here, and who knows what secrets will be revealed on the way. We invite you to strap in for this wild ride. Who knows, you might just capture the next viral sensation, or better yet, a revelation that rattles our understanding of the world. Welcome to Monster Trail Cams. Let the mystery unfold. The photograph that has emerged from the picturesque state of Georgia has sent ripples through the community. The image in question was captured by a diligent farmer who was determined to unveil the mysterious entity that had been stealthily raiding his grain supplies under the cloak of night. The farmer, armed with a trail camera, was not prepared for the chilling sight that would greet him. Upon first inspection, the image reveals what seems to be an eerie amalgamation of a pig and a human. The creature, which has been dubbed by some as the Pigman, has an uncanny resemblance to a human, but with distinct porcine features. One's rational mind would immediately deduce that this must be a person donning an incredibly lifelike costume. This theory is further supported by the observation that the creature appears to be garbed in some form of attire enveloping its upper body. I would like to direct your focus to the creature's limbs, which are arguably the most perplexing aspect of this image. At first glance, the arms bear a striking resemblance to those of a human. However, upon closer scrutiny, one cannot help but notice that the fingers appear to be webbed, and there is a suggestion that they might be in the process of morphing into hooves. The resolution of the image is unfortunately not high enough to draw any definitive conclusions. Now let us entertain the possibility that this is indeed a human being. One must then ask, what would motivate someone to engage in such bizarre behavior? Why would an individual dressed as a pig be skulking around a farm in the dead of night, pilfering grain? The farmer, who is both bewildered and alarmed, has stated that the camera was installed merely the night before the image was captured. The so-called grain thief could not have possibly been aware of the camera's presence, thus ruling out the likelihood of this being a premeditated prank. Some suggest that this could be an unknown creature, possibly even a cryptid. Others believe it could be a manifestation of local folklore. Theories range from the plausible to the downright outlandish. This image has not only captured a potentially unknown creature, but has also captured the imaginations of many. The farmer's initial intent was to catch a common thief, but he may have stumbled upon something far more enigmatic. The questions remain: what is this creature? Is it a human in disguise, an unknown animal, or something else entirely? In this enthralling piece of footage, we are invited to accompany two intrepid amateur ghost hunters on a nocturnal odyssey through an enigmatic forest. The dense canopy of trees, bathed in shadows, sets the stage for an experience that oscillates between the realms of the supernatural and the terrestrial. As the ghost hunters venture deeper into the forest, they recount a palpable shift in the atmosphere. The air grows heavy, and an inexplicable sense of unease envelops them. They describe it as if the very energies of the forest have been altered. Could this be the result of geomagnetic anomalies, or perhaps some arcane phenomenon woven into the fabric of the earth itself? Engulfed in trepidation, the duo contemplates retreating from the forest. However, it is at this juncture that their camera lens captures something that arrests their attention. Through the dense thicket of trees, a nebulous gray form materializes. Its shape is amorphous, and its movements are shrouded in mystery. Driven by an insatiable curiosity and a thirst for discovery, the ghost hunters resolve to pursue this enigmatic apparition. As they navigate the labyrinthine forest, the form begins to take on a more discernible shape. It resembles a piece of white fabric, perhaps a shirt or a dress, seemingly suspended in midair with no corporeal form within it. The spectral form leads them on a winding path through the forest until they emerge into a clearing. Here, the scene that unfolds before them is both mystifying and eerie. Candles flicker with an ethereal glow, casting shadows upon a circle of rocks that lie beneath what appears to be a makeshift tarp or shelter. But it is the figure within the camp that truly captures their disbelief. A man, with a beard and bare feet, clad in jeans and a bright yellow shirt, is seen muttering in an indecipherable language. His presence is enigmatic and his demeanor is cryptic. The ghost hunters are left to ponder the connection between the spectral white form and this solitary man. Was he a guardian of the forest, a hermit, or something more otherworldly? With their instincts screaming at them to flee, the ghost hunters make a hasty retreat. As they dart through the forest, the rustling of leaves and the snapping of twigs fuel their fears that they are being pursued. They do not glance back to confirm if it is the man in the yellow shirt or something else. As they emerge from the forest, hearts pounding and minds racing, they are left to reflect on the nature of their encounter. Was this a genuine brush with the supernatural, a meeting with a guardian of the forest, or perhaps an elaborate ruse reminiscent of the Blair Witch Project? This footage, rich in mystery and intrigue, serves as a reminder of the thin veil that separates the known from the unknown. It challenges us to question the nature of reality and to entertain the possibility that there are forces and entities that dwell just beyond the periphery of our understanding. As viewers, we are left to weigh the evidence, scrutinize the footage, and ultimately decide for ourselves the nature of this enigmatic encounter within the shadowed depths of the forest. In this heart-pounding submission, we are thrust into the midst of a nocturnal escapade that unfolds in a remote campsite. As the video begins to roll, it becomes evident that this serene backdrop is about to be shattered by an encounter that defies explanation. The footage is shaky, a testament to the adrenaline and terror that courses through the veins of the two campers who are at the center of this tale. Their breaths are ragged, and their movements are frantic as they burst out of their tent into the inky blackness of the night. It is clear that something within the tent has instilled a primal fear within them. One of the campers, with the presence of mind that belies the chaos, manages to grab the camera as they flee. They sprint across the terrain, the shadows and silhouettes of the prairie enveloping them. After covering a considerable distance, they pause and muster the courage to turn back towards the campsite. It is here that the camera lens captures a sight that is both chilling and enigmatic. Bathed in the soft glow of the interior lights of the tent, a figure can be seen crouched within. This is no ordinary human form. Its proportions are distorted with elongated limbs and a posture that is both predatory and unnatural. Could this be an elaborate hoax, a fabrication designed to evoke fear and intrigue? Or does this footage offer a rare glimpse into a phenomenon that is as ancient as the Earth itself? Throughout history and across cultures, there have been whispers and tales of humanoid creatures that dwell within the earth and the wilderness. These beings, often shrouded in myth and legend, are said to emerge from their lairs to confront and sometimes attack unsuspecting travelers in remote areas. These entities are seldom captured on camera, and their existence is often relegated to folklore. However, this footage challenges us to question the boundaries of what we know. Could this be one of those earth-dwelling humanoids that have been spoken of in hushed tones around campfires for generations? The possibility is terrifying. As the campers retreat from the scene, leaving behind their belongings and their sense of security, the video comes to an end. But the questions and the mystery endure. What do you think? Is this video a genuine encounter with the unknown or a well-crafted deception? Here we have some young college kids out looking for trouble after dark. You can see them driving alongside a rural road. They saw something strange dart across the road as they were driving, and one brave or maybe foolish soul decided to get out of the car and investigate. He tracks ahead of the car looking for the creature. And find it, he does. The video picks up as he is running back to the safety of the vehicle. For a brief moment, You can see in the footage what he was running from. It appears to be a giant armored insect of some sort, perhaps a locust. The only problem is that it is the size of a dog. Its movements are awkward. It could be that the creature was injured, maybe struck by a car. The young men didn't stick around to investigate. As soon as their friend got back in the car, they sped off in the opposite direction. This camera footage shows a few seconds of what appears to be a meteor flying overhead. The meteor has a bluish-white center with a bright red tail. This is pretty much on par with what a falling meteor looks like. The problem? There were no meteors recorded entering the Earth's atmosphere at the time of the video, nor were there any recorded impacts in the nearby area. So was this truly a meteor, or could it have been something else? Maybe something sent here from another planet? Or could the military have been testing a new weapon? Next, we travel to the awe-inspiring and rugged terrain of Canyonlands National Park. Nestled in the heart of Utah, this national treasure is renowned for its dramatic desert landscapes carved by the Colorado River. However, just beyond the boundaries of this majestic park, an enigmatic discovery has recently come to light. After an uncharacteristic flood, which was quite heavy for the season, the earth was left saturated and impressionable. It was during this time that a pair of hikers, embarking on an early morning adventure, stumbled upon something that would leave them both bewildered and captivated. The time was approximately 8:30 a.m. when their eyes fell upon a series of peculiar tracks imprinted in the soft, damp earth. The hikers, realizing the potential significance of their discovery, had the presence of mind to document the scene. The photographs they captured, which are displayed here, were swiftly relayed to the authorities at the local ranger station. Now, let us examine these photographs with a discerning eye. The hikers, unfortunately, did not have the means to accurately measure the tracks at that moment. However, through photo comparison and analysis, it is estimated that the footprints measure an astonishing 18 to 22 inches in length. What's even more intriguing is that upon closer inspection, one can discern the faint but unmistakable outline of toes. These are not the footprints of any known creature that typically inhabits the desert terrain surrounding Canyonlands National Park. The sheer size and human-like characteristics of the footprints beg the question, what kind of creature could have made these tracks? Speculation has been rife. Some have ventured to suggest that this could be evidence of the elusive Bigfoot, a creature steeped in folklore and often associated with the Pacific Northwest. Could it be possible that a relative of Bigfoot has made its home in the desert? Others posit that this could be indicative of a hitherto undiscovered primate species, adapted to desert living. This theory, while less sensational, is equally as fascinating. The possibility that an unknown large primate could be roaming the outskirts of Canyonlands National Park is a tantalizing prospect for cryptozoologists and naturalists alike. There are also those who approach this discovery with skepticism, suggesting that the tracks could be an elaborate hoax or perhaps the result of natural phenomena. As the local authorities and experts begin their investigation into this intriguing discovery, the tracks have ignited the imaginations of many. Theories and hypotheses continue to abound as people from all walks of life weigh in on the mystery. In the annals of Canyonlands National Park, this discovery will undoubtedly be recorded as one of its most enigmatic and captivating mysteries. Whether this will lead to the revelation of a new creature, the confirmation of a legend, or the debunking of a myth, the tracks at the edge of Canyonlands have already etched themselves into the lore of the area. Our next port of call is the breathtaking landscapes of northern Utah. This region, known for its majestic mountains, dense forests, and rich history, has recently become the focal point of a riveting mystery. What we have before us is a still image, submitted by an anonymous source, that has set the wheels of speculation into overdrive. The image captures a fleeting moment in time, as a seemingly large primate is seen making its way into the dense foliage, possibly seeking refuge or concealment. The creature's gait and posture are strikingly reminiscent of a primate, and its fur-clad figure is partially obscured by the surrounding vegetation. Now let us sharpen our focus and examine the creature's right side. Upon closer inspection, there appears to be an object or perhaps even a smaller creature that the primate could be carrying. The contours and texture of this potential object are indistinct, and the resolution of the image does not permit a conclusive analysis. One of the most striking aspects of this image is the creature's stature in relation to the surrounding flora. The vegetation provides a natural scale, and it becomes evident that the height of the creature is not consistent with the typical reports of Sasquatch, which are often described as towering figures. This observation leads us down a different path of inquiry. Across the vast expanse of the United States and Canada, there have been whispers and tales of encounters with creatures that can only be described as smaller primates, often referred to colloquially as monkey people. These creatures, though not as renowned as their Sasquatch counterparts, have been the subject of folklore and eyewitness accounts. Could it be possible that this image, captured in the verdant wilderness of northern Utah, represents the first photographic evidence of these elusive monkey people? The thought is interesting and has captured the imaginations of cryptozoologists, enthusiasts, and skeptics alike. However, as with all mysteries, alternative explanations abound. Some argue that this could be an elaborate hoax, orchestrated by an individual donning a remarkably convincing costume. The dense foliage and the graininess of the image could be concealing the telltale signs of a fabricated encounter. The forests and mountains of northern Utah, like many wild places, are shrouded in secrets and stories that have been passed down through generations. In this video, we are introduced to the exploration of an amateur ghost hunter who has ventured into the realm of the unknown. The footage begins with an exterior shot of an abandoned house, which stands as a relic of a bygone era. The house, with its weathered facade and overgrown surroundings, seems to be a place forgotten by time. As the camera pans across the exterior, a peculiar sight catches the viewer's attention. There, amidst the shadows and decay, is a humanoid figure. Its presence is both unexpected and eerie. The house, which has evidently been in disarray for a considerable period, seems an unlikely refuge for any living being. This raises the question of whether the figure is seeking shelter from the elements or perhaps seeking refuge from prying eyes. With a mix of trepidation and curiosity, the ghost hunter decides to venture inside the house for a closer inspection of the mysterious figure. As the camera adjusts to the dim interior, the figure comes into clearer view. It has a visage that appears feminine, with long, dark hair cascading around its face. However, what is most striking are what appear to be pointed ears. This detail, coupled with the figure's elusive demeanor, leads to speculation that it could be someone donning an elf costume. However, the atmosphere and the figure's behavior suggest something more enigmatic. The ghost hunter, camera in hand, embarks on a chase through the labyrinthine corridors of the old house. The figure, agile and seemingly ethereal, darts through rooms and hallways. Just as it seems the ghost hunter is on the cusp of capturing the figure, it vanishes into the night with a grace that seems almost supernatural. A subsequent search of the house and the surrounding forest yields no trace of the figure. It is as if the earth swallowed it whole, leaving behind only the echoes of its presence. This footage, with its haunting imagery and the enigmatic figure at its center, invites a plethora of questions. Was this a playful individual in a costume, a guardian spirit of the abandoned house, or perhaps an entity from folklore that found refuge in this forgotten place? In this intriguing snippet of footage, which spans just a few fleeting seconds, we are transported to the tranquil and bucolic setting of a field in southeastern Illinois. This region, characterized by its rolling landscapes and agricultural heritage, serves as the backdrop for a video that challenges our perceptions. As the camera rolls, our gaze is drawn to a figure that emerges and traverses the frame. This entity is unlike anything one would expect to encounter in such a setting. It stands tall and slender with an elongated form that is both ethereal and unsettling. The being ambulates in an upright manner, akin to a human, but its gait is where the similarities end. One of the most striking features of this creature is the apparent absence of arms. Its torso, devoid of the appendages that one would associate with a bipedal creature, adds to the enigma. However, it is the head and neck region that truly captivates the viewer's imagination. The morphology of its head and neck is reminiscent of the otherworldly creatures that inhabit the abyssal depths of the oceans, as seen in documentaries exploring the marine world. The creature's physique appears to be devoid of substantial musculature. Its limbs and torso seem almost wispy, and its movements are peculiar, almost as if each step is a laborious and calculated effort. The fluidity that one would expect in a living organism's gait is replaced by a stilted and mechanical progression. As we observe this enigmatic being, we are compelled to ask, what is this creature? Its form and movements bear no resemblance to any known terrestrial life form. Could this be evidence of an extraterrestrial visitor, a being from a world beyond our own, whose biology and morphology are as alien as the farthest reaches of the cosmos? Alternatively, in an age where technology has enabled the creation of increasingly realistic digital imagery, could this footage be the product of skillful CGI? Perhaps this is an ambitious attempt by an individual or group to craft a chilling and otherworldly video designed to captivate and mystify. The footage, shrouded in mystery, offers no definitive answers. It serves as a canvas upon which our imaginations can paint a myriad of possibilities. From the prospect of an interstellar visitor to the artistry of digital manipulation, the interpretation of this video is as boundless as the universe itself. What do you believe? Is this a glimpse into the unknown, a window into a world beyond our own, or is it a testament to the power of technology and storytelling? In this footage, captured from the vantage point of a car parked alongside a road, we are initially drawn to the serene sight of a female moose grazing near a ditch. The moose, with its majestic stature and calm demeanor, is a symbol of the wilderness. However, as we immerse ourselves in the scene, our attention is subtly diverted to a series of movements in the periphery. If you shift your gaze slightly to the left of the moose, within the dense foliage of the trees, you will notice something stirring. At first, it manifests as a nebulous white shadow, almost ethereal in nature. As the seconds tick by, this shadow begins to coalesce into a more distinct form as it edges closer to the clearing. What becomes increasingly apparent is that this entity bears a striking resemblance to a human form. Its movements are deliberate, and it seems to be stealthily stalking the moose. The moose, engrossed in grazing, appears to be oblivious to the presence of this entity. There is a brief moment where the moose raises its head, as if sensing something amiss, but it fails to pinpoint the source of the disturbance. The question that looms large is, what is this creature that lurks in the shadows of the trees? A moose, being a sizable and formidable animal, has few natural predators that would dare to engage it. This leads us to consider possibilities that venture into the realm of cryptids and folklore. There have been accounts of creatures known as crawlers and rakes, which are often described as humanoid entities with pale skin and a predilection for stalking and feeding on large animals. These creatures are shrouded in myth and are often associated with sightings in wooded areas. Could it be possible that this footage offers a rare glimpse of one such entity in its natural habitat? The grainy nature of the footage and the distance from the subject make it difficult to draw definitive conclusions. As the footage concludes with the moose continuing to graze and the mysterious figure retreating into the shadows, we are left with more questions than answers. Whether this is an encounter with an unknown creature, a trick of light and shadow, or something else entirely, it definitely caught my attention. This video wasn't recorded in the best lighting, but here we can see what appears to be a man wandering aimlessly around a walking path with a small brick wall on one side. While this might not seem like a sinister video, there is much more to the story. This area had been closed to the public after a series of strange illnesses in the town were attributed to a fungus in the soil near this very park. Before people started getting sick, there were reports of a strange man wandering through the park with ghostly pale skin and dressed in dark clothes. The police searched for the man but could never seem to find him. This is the only video footage of the man, and soon after the footage was taken, The man disappeared from the park, and suddenly, the illnesses in the town stopped as well. Coincidence? Was this figure just a regular, albeit strange man wandering around a closed park, or was it something darker? Next, we have a still image captured by a trail cam of a mysterious light near the base of a lone tree in the forest. As most of you know, trail cams like this one use motion detectors. Something has to set the motion detector off for the camera to snap a photo. So what's going on here? What is the strange light? And how did it manage to set off the motion detector? Orbs are often found in images such as this, but few of them emit such bright lights. Could this be some sort of supernatural being? Maybe a forest spirit? Could it be something that lives in the tree itself? If you notice, the tree stands alone in a clearing amongst the rest of the forest, and it appears to have some small hiding place beneath its roots. Maybe there is some significance there, but then again, maybe there isn't. Either way, this image doesn't invoke a sense of dread or darkness like so many of the others in this video, even though there is no way to identify the source of the mysterious light. In this footage, which is characterized by its grainy quality, we are privy to an encounter that is as chilling as it is mysterious. The camera captures the image of a figure draped in black robes. What is particularly unsettling is the absence of a face. Where one would expect to see human features, there is only an abyss of darkness. The setting of this encounter is a forested area, where a couple of hikers find themselves inadvertently straying from their intended path. Their unintended detour leads them to the remnants of an abandoned churchyard. The church, which has been forsaken since the late 1800s, is little more than overgrown foundations that are now part of the woodland landscape. This area, steeped in history and shrouded by the canopy of trees, is reputed for supernatural phenomena. Local lore and accounts have led to it being generally avoided by those who are familiar with its history. However, the hikers, unaware of the tales that envelop this place, find themselves face to face with the ominous figure. As the figure advances towards them, its movements deliberate and its face obscured, the hikers are gripped by a primal fear. The footage captures the initial moments of this encounter, and as the figure closes the distance, the hikers turn and flee. Their flight is fueled by adrenaline as they navigate the dense forest, the shadows, and the underbrush. Though the footage ends, we learn that the hikers managed to make it out of the area unscathed. Their escape was a narrow one, and the experience has undoubtedly left an indelible mark on them. This footage raises a myriad of questions. Who or what was the figure cloaked in black? Was it a guardian of the abandoned churchyard, a spectral entity bound to the land? Or was it something else, an enigma that defies categorization? The hikers, who were fortunate to leave the area safely, are unlikely to seek answers by returning. The churchyard, with its crumbling foundations and its silent guardian, remains a place of mystery. In this captivating footage, we are transported to the serene depths of a dense forest, where the wonders of nature often reveal themselves. The footage in question was captured by a trail camera, which was triggered by the motion of a young deer gracefully making its way through the underbrush. At first glance, this might seem like a typical, albeit charming glimpse into the natural world. However, as we peer closer, the footage begins to unravel a tapestry of mystery and intrigue. The deer, with its delicate features and alert demeanor, seems to be unusually fixated on something in the vicinity of the camera. One might initially assume that it is merely curious about the camera itself, but the deer's focus appears to extend beyond the lens, as if it is acutely aware of something else in its environment. Now, let us turn our attention to the illumination in the footage. There is an undeniable light source emanating from the direction of the camera, which is likely the result of the camera's infrared sensor. However, what truly piques our curiosity is the presence of an additional light source that can be seen at the upper portion of the frame. This ethereal glow does not seem to have a readily explainable origin. Could this be the gentle light of the setting sun piercing through the canopy? The owner of the footage vehemently disputes this possibility. According to them, this footage was captured during the twilight hours of an overcast evening, a time when the forest should be shrouded in shadows and the sun obscured by clouds. Moreover, the owner asserts that there are no artificial light sources positioned behind the camera that could account for this phenomenon. This raises a plethora of questions. What could be the source of this mysterious light? The deer, seemingly ensnared between two sources of illumination in a forest that should be cloaked in darkness, appears to be experiencing something out of the ordinary. Some have ventured into the realm of the supernatural to explain this enigmatic scene. Theories of orbs, spheres of light that are often associated with the presence of spirits or otherworldly entities have been proposed. Could this deer be having an encounter with forces beyond our understanding? Others have suggested that this could be an atmospheric phenomenon, perhaps a rare interplay of light and moisture that created an illusion of illumination. And of course, there are those who speculate that this could be a trick of the camera, an artifact or glitch that produced the appearance of an additional light source. This footage serves as a reminder of the mysteries that nature holds. Whether this is an encounter with the unknown, a rare natural phenomenon, or a simple trick of light, we just don't know. As we continue our journey through the tapestry of the unexplained, our compass now points us towards the southern state of Alabama. Here, in a tranquil backyard that one might expect to be the setting for the simple pleasures of life, an enigma unfolds through the lens of a trail camera. The owner of the footage, a resident with a keen interest in the nocturnal visitors to his yard, had set up the camera with the modest expectation of capturing the nightly escapades of the local wildlife. As the camera rolls, an animal ambles into the frame from the right-hand side. Its gait is unhurried, and its form, though somewhat obscured by the angle and lighting, suggests that it might be a badger or perhaps a groundhog. This in itself is a charming, albeit ordinary sight. However, it is not the terrestrial wanderer that has catapulted this footage into the realm of the extraordinary. As you direct your gaze towards the center of the frame, an object darts across the screen with a velocity and trajectory that defy conventional explanation. This object, elongated and seemingly airborne, bears a striking resemblance to what is colloquially known as a rod. Rods are a phenomenon that has both captivated and puzzled observers for years. They appear as elongated shapes with undulating wings or fins, and their movements are often too rapid for the naked eye to discern. Theories abound regarding the nature of rods. Some proponents of the paranormal posit that these entities are ethereal or interdimensional in nature, perhaps even sentient beings that inhabit the spaces between our perceptions. Others, grounded in skepticism, argue that rods are optical illusions or artifacts created by the camera's shutter speed, capturing the flight of small, fast-moving objects such as insects. However, what sets this footage apart and adds a layer of complexity to the enigma is the clarity with which the animal is captured in contrast to the fleeting rod. If this were a mere artifact of the camera's mechanics, would not the image of the animal also be distorted or affected in some way? This discrepancy invites further speculation and inquiry. Could this be evidence that rods are indeed a phenomenon distinct from the limitations of camera technology? Or is there an as-yet undiscovered explanation that reconciles the clarity of the animal with the ethereal nature of the rod? Here we follow an internet personality down the road known as Dead Doll Lane. Not a place you'd want to visit after dark. Broken and dismembered dolls hang from the trees above and find themselves entwined in the fences on either side of the road. Legend has it that each doll contains an evil spirit and, in some cases, demons. Sometimes haunted houses aren't actually haunted after all. Sometimes the spirit attaches itself to the people living there. As you might think, this spells bad news for the victim. The spirit can and will follow them anywhere and everywhere they go. But what you might not have heard is that sometimes the spirits can be tricked into fixating on a doll instead. Mediums, psychics, and shamans are who you call if you have a problem like that. Sometimes they can get the spirit to focus on the doll. Sometimes they can't. But when they can, they have to remove the doll from the home and hide it somewhere away from the world. And that's where we are today. It's not so much a graveyard of broken dolls, but a prison of evil spirits. Definitely not a place I'd recommend visiting, especially not at night. You wouldn't want to bring anything home with you. This footage, captured from within a vehicle traversing a secluded woodland area, presents us with a scene that is both enigmatic and unsettling. Through the lens of the camera, we observe figures garbed in cloaks moving amidst the tall grasses. Their movements are deliberate, and their attire, which appears to be either sheets or white robes, lends an ethereal quality to their presence. The identity and nature of these figures are shrouded in mystery. One might initially consider the possibility that these are simply individuals donning sheets or robes. However, the context and circumstances surrounding this footage compel us to consider alternative explanations. The individual who captured this footage has attested to witnessing these figures intermittently over a span of years. This claim adds a layer of complexity to the enigma, as it suggests a recurring presence in this particular area. Furthermore, the location where this footage was captured is notably remote. With no signs of human habitation or infrastructure within a 40-mile radius, and accessibility limited to all-terrain vehicles, the presence of these figures raises a plethora of questions. What purpose would individuals have in frequenting such an isolated area? How would they have traversed the rugged terrain to reach this location? And why would they be clad in white robes, seemingly incongruous with the surroundings? One theory that emerges is the possibility of a hidden community or settlement, perhaps a secret village whose inhabitants have chosen to live in seclusion, away from the trappings of modern civilization. The white robes could be indicative of cultural or spiritual practices unique to this community. Another, more spectral theory posits that these figures could be supernatural in nature. The land, rich in history and secrets, may be imprinted with energies or spirits that manifest as these cloaked figures. Their ethereal garb and elusive nature could be indicative of entities that are not bound by the physical constraints of our world. As the footage concludes, leaving behind a tableau of whispering grasses and the retreating forms of the cloaked figures, we are invited to ponder the mysteries that lie at the intersection of the known and the unknown. Not every trail cam submission here is an incident of the paranormal. Sometimes you catch wild footage of animals just being animals. Now here is something you don't see every day. Watch this coyote stalk a family of raccoons. The coyote is clearly hungry and sizing up one of the baby raccoons for a midnight meal. The raccoons spot the coyote and quickly scurry up a tree. The coyote has to strike now or lose out on dinner tonight, so it leaps at one of the raccoons rushing up the tree, but its bite must not have made purchase because the raccoon went flying after a brief struggle. Luckily for the raccoon, it was able to scurry back up the tree with the rest of its family. Not so lucky of a night for the coyote. He'll have to find his dinner elsewhere tonight. This intriguing footage showcases a collection of images capturing what appears to be tracks left behind by a colossal bipedal primate hailing from the northern region of Alberta, Canada. Now, up in those Canadian Rockies, the locals are accustomed to encountering formidable creatures like grizzly bears, wolves, and majestic moose. However, these tracks deviate from the usual suspects prowling the area. The enigmatic creature responsible for these tracks seems to frequent the vicinity quite often. The campground owner, who generously shared these images, has stumbled upon its unmistakable footprints in nearly every season. Nevertheless, despite this regular interaction, the elusive creature has not yet revealed itself to human observers. It deliberately takes extraordinary measures to remain unseen, slyly avoiding any potential encounters. Over the years, there have been a couple of nearly successful attempts to capture the creature on video. Regrettably, it always manages to keep a great distance, and the quality of the footage falls short, leaving us without any identifiable evidence to scrutinize. This creature possesses an astute awareness of human activities, consciously evading any attempts to be caught on camera. Its intelligence is evident as it skillfully eludes our persistent pursuit. While the prevailing belief among enthusiasts is that this enigmatic creature is none other than the infamous Bigfoot, we may forever be left without a definitive answer. The creature remains resolute in maintaining its secretive existence, taking great care to evade the prying eyes of curious humans. Regardless of its true identity, the fact remains that this elusive being possesses an impressive level of intelligence, always staying one step ahead of our restless attempts to uncover the truth. Here we have a particularly intriguing video submission that claims to capture a potential sighting of the legendary Bigfoot. Now, I must warn you, the footage we're about to dive into is a bit on the grainy side. The reason for this is that it had to be zoomed in to get a closer look at the subject. However, despite the slight lack in visual clarity, there are some remarkable details that we can still make out. As the footage begins, we find ourselves amidst a serene pine forest with towering trees lining the scenery. Suddenly, a figure catches our attention, walking parallel to the tree line. And there it is, unmistakably, the outline of a large, bipedal, ape-like creature. The first thing that strikes us is its impressive size, dominating the frame as it moves gracefully through the landscape. Covered in a thick coat of brown hair, the creature exudes an aura of mystery and power. Its long strides showcase a sense of ease as it effortlessly traverses the terrain. One can't help but marvel at the sheer presence this creature emits. Curiously, the creature seems entirely unaware of the person behind the camera. It continues its steadfast path, almost as if it's on a mission of its own. However, just as quickly as it appeared, it retreats into the cover of the forest, disappearing from sight, leaving us with nothing but unanswered questions. Now, I must acknowledge the possibility that this footage could be an elaborate hoax, crafted with great attention to detail. After all, the realm of Bigfoot sightings has seen its fair share of fakes and unexplained phenomena. Yet despite our skepticism, we also cannot ignore the chance that this may indeed be a genuine glimpse of the elusive creature. Unfortunately, at such a great distance, it is impossible to ascertain the authenticity of this encounter definitively. However, that does not dampen the excitement surrounding this submission. It serves as a reminder of the timeless allure and fascination that the existence of Bigfoot holds for so many. Here is another Bigfoot encounter for you today. Our brave cameraman captures some fascinating footage as he comes face to face with an enigmatic creature, none other than the legendary Bigfoot. Now, what makes this encounter particularly intriguing is the location. It's not your typical deep wilderness setting. This elusive creature is spotted casually strolling across a road in what appears to be a suburban area. As the camera zooms in, we catch a glimpse of a large ape-like being striding confidently amidst civilization. On one side of the road, there's a quaint wooden fence, a clear indication that this encounter is far from the wild expanses commonly associated with Bigfoot sightings. It begs the question, why would this creature venture into such an unexpected territory? Perhaps it was just passing through on its way to a more suitable habitat deep within a vast forest. Undeterred by the potential risks, our intrepid cameraman decides to follow the creature as it reaches the other side of the road. Despite the shaky footage and occasional blurriness, there's no mistaking the distinctive figure of Bigfoot. Its massive form moves with a blend of grace and raw power, disappearing seamlessly into a dense, sprawling woodland. But here's what's truly fascinating. Throughout the entire recording, the Bigfoot seems to have one singular objective: to evade any further contact with humans. It exhibits no aggression or inclination to confront the cameraman. Instead, it urgently yet cautiously retreats into the depths of the forest, as if seeking to maintain its elusive existence undisturbed by our presence. This observation leads us to ponder the nature of Bigfoot. Is this creature a fearsome predator, harboring ill intent towards humans? Or is it simply an animal wanting to live a peaceful life away from our meddling eyes? The fact that this immense and potentially dangerous being seems to actively avoid human interaction poses an interesting question. Could this be the very reason why Bigfoot has managed to elude scientific scrutiny and remain hidden for so long? We're itching to hear your thoughts on this intriguing encounter. Does Bigfoot pose a threat, or is it just misunderstood and in search of solace within its remote dwelling? Sound off in the comments and let's dive deeper into the enigmatic world of Bigfoot. This video I'm about to show you is definitely not for the faint of heart. So, there's this brave individual who was driving along a desolate road when something strange caught their attention. With a heart full of compassion, they decided to stop and investigate, thinking they might encounter a wounded animal in need of help. Little did they know, they were about to dive headfirst into a spine-chilling nightmare. As the camera person approached the creature lurking in the ditch, a sense of unease began to creep up their spine. What they observed was truly something out of a horror movie. This beast, with its ghastly appearance and hollowed-out frame, resembled a ghoul straight from the darkest corners of our imaginations. Its pale, nearly translucent skin seemed to absorb what little light shone upon it, making its ghostly figure even more unsettling. But the most haunting feature of all were its eyes. Glowing with an otherworldly luminescence, these peepers reflected the camera's flash, confirming that this creature was a creature of the night. No doubt about it. It's what paranormal enthusiasts call a crawler, a creature that primarily prowls in the darkness and thrives on fear. And trust me, folks, encountering one of these abominations is not on anyone's bucket list. Our brave adventurer, realizing the dangerous nature of the situation, decided to play it smart and make a swift exit. And boy, was that a wise decision. You see, encounters with these crawlers often end in tragedy for the unlucky souls who come face to face with them. So, let's give a round of applause to this courageous individual for not becoming dinner that day. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on the sheer terror this video has just unleashed upon us. Can you imagine stumbling upon one of these wretched beings while innocently wandering the night? I shudder at the mere thought. It's fair to say that the spine-tingling presence of a crawler is not one anyone should seek out willingly. So, my friends, let's all be grateful for the safety of our screens and the distance they provide from these bone-chilling creatures. Now let's delve into a snippet of video captured on a trail cam, offering us a peek into a scene that may appear a bit spooky at first, but is ultimately nothing to worry about. Unless, of course, you have a fear of eight-legged critters. Brace yourself, because what you're about to see may give you quite the jolt. A monstrous spider suddenly skitters across the viewfinder, creating quite a spectacle on your screen. As the spider appears to be of gargantuan proportions in the footage, a small possum scampers around on the forest floor beneath it, looking relatively tiny in comparison. But don't be fooled. This visual trickery isn't because of some unknown breed of colossal spiders lurking in our forests, ready to dwarf any marsupials. Rather, it's an illusion created by the camera's perspective. You see, the spider is much closer to the lens of the trail camera than the possum, giving it an amplified, larger-than-life presence on the screen. This effect, known as forced perspective, can cause our brains to miscalculate the size difference between objects, hence the seemingly enormous arachnid. So, our unexpected star of the footage is just an ordinary spider, not a mega spider that could rival the size of the possum. This clip provides an intriguing lesson, highlighting that sometimes things captured on camera aren't always as they initially appear. It's like being a detective, where we need to decipher the clues and evidence before us, cross-checking with our knowledge and understanding to unravel the truth behind the image. So remember to approach video footage or photographs with a keen eye and a dash of skepticism. Because, as our friend the giant spider has shown us, a simple twist of the camera can create illusions that trick our brains. In an unexpected twist, we have stumbled upon a paranormal encounter right in the heart of a bustling city. It's quite an unusual location, but let's delve into the details. Our footage captures a mysterious creature perched on a tree branch, stretching across a busy city street. Unfortunately, the camera quality leaves much to be desired, making it challenging to discern the creature's facial features. However, we can still analyze its body characteristics. Surprisingly, the creature seems to possess a human-like shape combined with sizable bat wings. Now, it's important to note that this creature doesn't quite match the descriptions of the legendary Mothman or Owlman. According to rumors, both of these beings are said to possess wings adorned with feathers. Although the footage isn't crystal clear, we can observe that the creature's wings are instead formed by a continuous membrane, differentiating it from these mythical counterparts. So what could this creature possibly be? Could it be a gargoyle, a ghoul, or perhaps even a demon in its natural form? Alternatively, is this footage merely a cleverly edited fabrication designed to grab attention? If this creature truly existed, wouldn't there have been numerous sightings reported by now, especially considering it was spotted hovering around a city street? One plausible explanation could be that the person who captured the footage was simply unlucky enough to stumble upon the creature before it had the presence of mind to fly away to a more secluded location. On the other hand, there remains the possibility that the entire video is nothing more than an elaborate hoax. Ultimately, it's up to you to decide the authenticity of this intriguing footage. This next clip takes place on a beach along the coast of North Carolina. A lone hiker braving the chilling winter winds stumbled upon a set of tracks that defied logic and left us all in awe. These were not just any footprints, they were massive, unlike anything we had ever witnessed before. We're talking about footprints that easily dwarfed the average human foot size. Can you imagine? These tracks were so enormous that even the most adventurous barefoot beachgoer would be left feeling rather inadequate. Now here's where the mystery deepens. It's mind-boggling to think that someone would willingly venture out onto a freezing beach, barefoot and all alone. But that's exactly what these tracks suggest. No other footprints were found nearby, indicating that the owner of these feet was out there, treading those sandy shores all by themselves. If we pause for a moment and take a closer look at these prints, a clear picture begins to emerge. The unmistakable shape of a human foot, complete with defined toes, is clearly visible, and the sheer magnitude of these tracks is astonishing. They leave no doubt that we are dealing with an immense creature here. It's remarkable to think that despite the abundance of evidence pointing towards the existence of Bigfoot, we have yet to catch sight of this elusive creature. How can something so large and distinguishable manage to keep itself hidden from humankind for centuries? This video we have some fascinating trail cam footage capturing the peculiar encounter of a young coyote. As the camera rolls, our coyote strolls confidently into view, its wild instincts guiding its determined steps. However, something soon catches its attention, causing it to halt abruptly and divert its gaze to the night sky. But here's where it gets intriguing. Just beyond the coyote, lurking in the shadows, we notice a pair of eyes faintly glowing, and they're locked onto our furry friend. Now, the burning question arises: who or what do those eerie eyes belong to? It's evident that these eyes have been observing the coyote for some time, patiently concealed within the darkness. However, the true nature of the observer remains shrouded in uncertainty. Is it another animal equally intrigued by the coyote's presence, or could there be a supernatural element at play here? The possibilities are endless. Analyzing the footage closer, we notice that the mysterious observer appears much larger than our young coyote, suggesting a substantial height difference. Alternatively, it's conceivable that this entity might be perched upon a tree branch or standing on higher ground, peering down onto the unfolding scene. Regrettably, the camera footage doesn't provide enough clarity to definitively ascertain the identity of this enigmatic being, leaving us with only speculation to fill in the blanks. In the end, this peculiar encounter serves as a reminder that the world around us is filled with countless mysteries waiting to be unraveled. Whether a mundane encounter with a fellow animal or an encounter with something far beyond our comprehension, it's moments like these that ignite our curiosity and drive us to delve deeper into the unknown. This next image that we're diving into is, without a doubt, the most disturbing one you'll come across today. And believe me, it will surely send shivers down your spine. So here's the lowdown on what went down. A local hunter decided to set up a trail cam near a dead deer's carcass, all in the hopes of capturing some mesmerizing shots of the predators in the area. But what happened next caught him completely off guard. When this hunter eagerly went to check the trail cam footage, expecting to see photos of the critters that had devoured the deer, he was faced with something he could never have anticipated. The sight he witnessed amidst the foliage of the woods, captured in the image he sent to us, chilled him to his very core. A bone-chilling image, I kid you not. In this photograph, we see not one, but two women, and let me just say, it's definitely not your ordinary encounter. Now, bear with me as we try to make sense of this bizarre scene. These two women, if we can even call them that, were half naked and hunched over the deer carcass. But here's the kicker. They were eating from it. Yes, you heard that right. They were feasting upon that poor deer's remains. Now let your imagination run wild here. Are these two women witches, casting some sinister spells amidst the darkness of the woods? Or could they possibly be some sort of otherworldly beings, demons in human guise, preying upon innocent animals for their own sinister purposes? And hey, let's not rule out the option of them being deranged humans, engaging in some twisted dark ritual. Who knows what truly lurks within their minds? Truly, it's impossible to deduce the exact intentions and nature of these mysterious individuals from a single photograph. But that's why I'm turning the tables to you, my curious audience. I want to know your thoughts on this hair-raising scenario. What do you make of these unsettling figures devouring the flesh of the deer? Share your theories, let your imagination roam, and together, let's unravel the mysteries of this profoundly disturbing scene. Alrighty folks, this one's definitely gonna make you play detective. Take a peek at this cool trail cam footage we got here. This camera's set up in a thick part of the forest, watching over everything that goes bump in the night. Now squint a bit and check out the bottom part of the video. See that? There's a shadow dancing around, just out of the camera's clear sight. The camera's range isn't the best, but that shadow, well, it's definitely not a squirrel. Looking at everything around the shadow, I'd say we're dealing with something pretty big. I mean, it's probably as big as a bear or something, which would make a lot of sense, given the part of the woods where the camera was planted. But hang on. Don't jump to conclusions just yet. Take a second look at the shadow. Do you see what I see? There's something a bit off, a bit different about it. It kind of sort of looks like a giant primate, especially if you focus on the head and neck. Even the way it seems to move is more like a monkey than a bear. Could we be looking at the shadow of the Bigfoot here, or maybe the North American great ape? Though we got to admit, it's all just guessing with this grainy video. To really know for sure, we'd need more than just this shadowy clue. While this video might not win any awards for cinematography, it's undeniably eerie. It shows a pair of figures, their identities hidden from us, strolling along a quiet trail. The surroundings are shrouded in darkness, making it tough to discern the exact time of day or location thanks to the lackluster lighting conditions. The heart-stopping moment comes out of nowhere. One of the figures just evaporates. It's as if a cosmic eraser wiped them out from the frame of existence. This unexpected disappearance is so sudden that it's easy to miss on the first viewing. But if you rewind and hit play again, you can spot an elusive flicker of light the instant after the person vanishes. It's like a microscopic fireworks display, as though marking the moment of disappearance. Now, what does that mean? Was this unfortunate individual taken by a UFO, as some conspiracy theorists might argue? Or could there be a more logical, albeit unknown, explanation at play? These are the intriguing questions this footage raises. The video doesn't provide any clear answers, only sparking more mystery and speculation. The second person, now alone, doesn't stick around to solve the puzzle. They don't even pause to question what just happened to their friend, adding another layer of confusion to this already puzzling video. Is it fear that propels them onwards? Or perhaps they're too bewildered to react appropriately? We can only guess. We're about to explore a video that captures a seemingly innocent scene of children joyfully swinging on a playground. However, as our focus shifts to the left side of the frame, a sense of unease washes over us. Concealed amidst the foliage, something catches our attention, something moving. Curiosity piqued, it's time to scrutinize this anomaly. Zooming in, we analyze the figure carefully. It possesses a humanoid form, but upon closer inspection, its ghostly appearance sends shivers down our spines. This enigma befuddles us. It doesn't align with any of the ghostly apparitions or mythical creatures we've encountered on this channel before. Is it an entity that has eluded our explorations thus far, or is it a fabrication? A hoax intended to trick and surprise? What's captivating is that the kids engrossed in their play initially remain oblivious to the mysterious presence looming behind them. However, their innocent merriment is soon disrupted by a sudden realization. An air of discomfort fills the scene as they detect an otherworldly force observing their every move. While it's conceivable that this could be an older sibling in a Halloween mask, we can't dismiss the possibility that it's something far more sinister. Thankfully, the children managed to leave unscathed from this eerie encounter. However, it wouldn't be surprising if they decide to think twice before returning to that swing set in the near future. The unknown has gripped their young imaginations, its lingering effect likely dissuading them from revisiting their once beloved playground. Trail cams have become an essential tool in capturing fascinating videos and images of wildlife in their natural habitats. These devices have provided us with countless unexpected moments that leave us in awe. Sometimes, however, the footage they capture goes beyond the ordinary, venturing into the realm of the paranormal. We have a still image that, at first glance, appears to be nothing more than a tangle of brush occupying the foreground. However, if you direct your attention towards the left side of the screen, you'll notice three incredibly small dots emitting a mysterious and otherworldly glow. Upon careful analysis, it becomes evident that these dots are not the typical reflection of animal eyes that we often encounter on trail cams. Nor do they resemble the translucent orbs that are commonly captured and interpreted as paranormal entities. The size of these dots is notably smaller than orbs, and their luminosity seems to surpass what one might expect from a mere reflection. So what exactly could these dots signify? As the so-called experts, we must remain unbiased and open to various explanations. It is plausible to consider that these glowing dots may signify something supernatural, a presence beyond our understanding. Alternatively, we cannot dismiss the idea that this could be a mere glitch in the trail camera, an unexpected anomaly that distorts our perception of reality. When attempting to identify these dots, it is challenging to think of any organic material or object that could reflect the camera in such a distinct manner. The presence of these mysterious dots was unsettling enough for the owner of this image to reach out to us, seeking our help in unraveling this enigma. It's now your turn, dear viewers. What are your thoughts on this captivating image? What could these glowing dots represent? Now, I must say, this next clip is quite intriguing. It was captured in a humble backyard where nature intertwines with human territory. The camera focuses on the backside of a dog, lying peacefully on the lush green grass. What catches our immediate attention is the intense fixation of the dog towards something in the distance. It's as if all their senses are heightened, their body language revealing a sense of anticipation and curiosity. As we look more closely, our eyes are drawn to a peculiar sight. Two shining orbs reflecting the light of the camera pierce through the darkness, a mysterious presence lurking just out of reach. One can't help but wonder who or what possesses such radiant, glowing eyes. The dog seems to be engaged in a silent standoff, as if engaged in a silent battle of wills with this enigmatic figure concealed in the shadows. Given the nature of our channel, predominantly centered around the supernatural, it is only natural for our minds to wander towards the realm of cryptids and inexplicable phenomena. It's in this moment that we are presented with a tantalizing conundrum. Could it be a creature from the depths of folklore, venturing into our ordinary world? The possibilities are endless. However, it is essential to acknowledge that not all that glimmers in the night is supernatural in origin. After all, our world is teeming with diverse wildlife, each harboring its own intrigue. The creature with the luminous eyes could very well be a humble possum, a mischievous raccoon, or even just the neighbor's beloved feline companion out for a nighttime adventure. Alas, with videos such as these, certainty is a rare find. Nonetheless, there remains a sliver of possibility that the eyes that captivate us might belong to something more sinister. Throughout history, dogs and cats have frequently exhibited a heightened sensitivity to paranormal occurrences, acting as our loyal protectors, alerting us to imminent danger that eludes our human perception. If you liked watching these videos, then consider subscribing. I release videos at least twice a week. Stay frosty, and we'll see you in the next one.